All right, everybody, I'm now going to demonstrate how to hook up your folder inserter online as well as demonstrate how you can remote into the folder inserter. Now, you can follow along with me. I'm in front of the 77IQ. If you go into the user guide, it is on page 128. It walks you through how to set up the system, hardline and Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi doesn't work so good in my office, so I'm hardlined. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set it up hardline. Dynamic IP address. Follow along in the manual if you'd like. Just so you know, too, on Knowledge Base, there are some videos to walk your customers through how to set up the network on our folder inserters. So let me now give you a screenshot of what we're looking at here. So obviously we're at our job list screen. We're in operator mode. So we're going to log in as supervisor. Anyone remember the password? Okay, no, then where do you find it? Where do you find it? Come on, we just talked about it. Okay, good. Right, the user guide. Okay, so I'll wait. Someone give me the passcode. Okay, very good. 2546. I showed you the first one. Right. 2546. Just want you guys to wake up, kind of see where you can find this information. Yeah, I'm showing it to you, but I can guarantee you next week you're going to forget it. So it's nice to know it's in that user guide. Okay, user guide. You can see it's important. All right, so now you go to settings. You're following along in your manual. You go to connectivity. You notice that looked a little bit different than when I showed you on the 64i. That's why I'm demoing this one for you. Okay, there's little differences. That's why it's nice to have a manual with pictures. We have videos as well on both of them. Now we're going to go to LAN settings. And like I mentioned, I am choosing wired. And then you touch the IP and DNS button. And they were already set to yes. You'll notice some numbers populate in there. That's very nice. If it's your first time, you would hit the blue check button. Second time, you got to wait a little bit. All right, you notice here I still have an X, which is okay. You just be patient. Wait a minute. If you ever worked on any kind of network equipment, patience is key. All right, now it's all in the blue. Blue is good. Blue is good. Okay, green is good on the 64i. All right, but you're still not convinced. There's a test button. Let's push it. And you can see if you are okay. And boom, we're okay. All right, we're all happy. We're online. Things are good. Supervisor goes back to work. Sorry, log out there. Now we're back in operator mode. We're still online. Operator goes about their day. There's another step now that I am going to show you. I'm going to go back to my computer. So give me a second here. And we're going to switch you back to everyone's favorite face cam. Howdy. All right, so I am sharing my screen. All right, you see I left it right on here for you because I'm so nice. That's where you could see exactly what I did, wireless or LAN connection. Now, I left this up here. Where did I find this? Knowledge base. This is just a quick guide through how to access knowledge base. And let's go back into knowledge base. Now you guys can just see it, but I'm going to play the video for you to give you a little more about it before I demonstrate here. So how do you find it? I like to demonstrate for you. Remote access. All right, that's my search term. If you're in the document system, it helps you there. Now you notice it does default to the 1200, which is okay. But here we go, 77IQ. If you didn't know, you can click your model number here to help. All right, but I found it. There it is. Let's watch it together as a class. I'll turn my face off for a minute. All right, you see we're in operator mode or on Wi-Fi. You click the question mark, remote assistance, and you type in the support key from you or maybe tier 2 or tier 1, whoever the case may be. The person that's in front of the computer is going to provide them with the key. Pretty straightforward, right? So that is what your operator is going to do. All right. Let's go ahead and click this video. Same video. All right, well, that's okay. This is why I'm recording. I'm learning. I'm seeing. Okay. So let's now click on the 77IQ. And let's go to my virtual training guide here. And we're going to do connecting to remote assistance video. And then let's see here. Where is the other video going to be? There's 3 of them. All right, connecting. Let's see what without text is. Okay, so now I know my videos are strictly for the folder inserter, but I thought there was a generic video here. I'm going to pause the video, search for it, and update my notes and resume. Okay, I'm glad I'm doing this because I'm going to make a note. Find the training video for in-person class for remote assistance. All right, I want to show it because it also shows them what to do on the computer, and I want to also put that out into knowledge base. Okay, here we go. All right, gentlemen, so I'm going to demonstrate, okay, and for everybody here, by all means, you can download this. Here I am again. And this, sometimes I like better than the video. It's just quick, to the point. What do? Well, I go to this website and look, it's a hyperlink. And I type in my password, and you can now see one of the downsides to hyperlink. So let me open it in a new tab. I right-clicked. All right, so now I'm here. So my username is Neopost. And let me just copy and paste this. So Neopost, and password is here. And now that I went in here too, I can go ahead and add it to my favorites. Sorry, I bumped my mic there. Let's go ahead and sign in. Sign in. Wrong username and password. Let's type it in. It's got to be all caps, so cap locks on. NTBV #1. There we go. Note to self, copy and paste does not work. So here is my key. Isn't that nice? So now I'm going to go to my machine, and here I go. Now I'm the operator. So let's go ahead and give you that nice view that you're looking for of the screen. And I need to open Switcher. click it, go to the screen. Here it is. Okay, so now what do? Well, if you remember, I touched the question mark, and then I touch the question mark, then I touch remote assistance, and my code was 6316. Okay, now I'm going to stand here and wait until I see I'm connected. All right, now I'm going to go walk back to my desk over here, and I will show you what is on my screen. Okay, howdy again. All right, so I have a virtual representation of the screen. So I want to give the customer some instructions. So I'll say, okay, click settings. What actually happens on the screen is they see the finger, the training finger. Okay, you could see it on the screen. You could see it on the display of the system. So this would be just me logging in, giving them some training instructions. Okay, go ahead. This is how you make a new job. Touch here. And then the customer touches wherever the little finger is pointing to. Okay, now I want to take over. This is where it gets good. So I'm going to click request control, and you will see here that the operator is now being prompted hundreds of miles away from where you are to go ahead and click the checkbox. So here I am, the operator. I click the checkbox, and notice what happens to my screen. I have a flashing border. That's to indicate to the operator that the machine is dead, right? Panic? That's what red flashing means, right? Nah, come on, you guys know better than that. That's just saying, hey, I took control, right? You awake? You know that was a bad joke, but I'm just seeing if you're paying attention. Okay, so now look, here I am duplicated on my screen. Okay, what can I do? Well, I can log into Supervisor with the click of a button. That's nice. All right, same with service mode, which we'll get into very soon. All right, I can take a look at the job screen with a click of a button. So let's say I clicked here. Let's say I clicked here. It says control requested, blinking light. However, I am not working. Well, that stinks. Fail. Supposed to work. All right, let's just see if maybe this is an issue with logging into service mode. My antivirus blocking it here. Shouldn't. All right, well, this was the last thing I was going to do, and we have a fail here. Let's see if it matters what screen I'm in. No. All right, I'm going to pause this recording and circle back. Okay, editor's note, I had to do it a second time. Can't explain why that didn't happen, but remember this if it happens in the real world. Okay, so as you can see, now that I took control, I can go into their job, I can run it. Everything the operator can do, so I can log into supervisor mode at the touch of a button, go right in here. Yeah, I can look at their job history. Okay, I click save the USB, it goes to a stick. I was just double checking if there's a way for me to save anything here. Okay. Just want you to see I can go right in the service menu at any time, okay, or the settings menu, so it logs me in and brings me there, which is nice. Okay, and we were going to get into this, but if we go to Systems, Actuators, I can turn the motor on. All right, I'm running. Okay, you can see the same screen here. Turn it off. All right, so I can't turn things on. I can go use my service tools. I could check the configuration. I can go look at fault codes, all sort of things. Just like you can do if you're in front of the machine. Okay, another nice button you have, and take a note, you have to be on the job list screen. You can touch diagnostics, and now I have information about the machine in the browser. I can go right over here and I can print it, okay? Or I can right click and do a save as and save it wherever I want. So let's say this customer is called Chicago Teachers Union, and it's the DS-64i. Now I could save it. Now I have a copy, and now I can go to my senior tech and we can review the information. Okay, very short version of how to use remote access. Just wanted you to know it's available and what you can do with it. It's a nice tool to have in your toolbox. Okay, so let's stop the session. And by the way, if you fail to stop the session or there is a power outage, don't be too concerned. It will just automatically log everybody out. There'll be no concern whatsoever. So I see my pretty face is in the way here, so let's go ahead and move it a bit. Okay, so right out of the gate, there's my serial number. That's nice. Okay, here's all my error messages. So now I can go on knowledge base and take my time. Let's say the customer's telling me I'm getting jammed with the stacker. Well, maybe you look at this and you find out, sure enough, they're right. They're getting jams in the stacker. Okay, error codes. All right, you also get system counters, so you get an idea how old it is or how often they're using it. So that's nice to get counters. What else do you get? Well, you get their IP address, and sometimes customers want to know their MAC address. This is one way to find it. There it is. Okay. And you get to scroll down, see what licenses they have. Sorry, I went kind of quick. As well as all of their reading definitions. You notice right here, not only does it tell me they have a reading definition, but what it is. We got a one definition that's diverting, counted by page numbering, using a 6-digit customer ID, and exit selection is ignored. So I can also look at the reading definitions. Mind-blowing stuff? No. Helpful? Yes. I always like to say it's nice to know all the tools in my toolbox. So now you saw the videos, you saw that there's information on KB, and I demonstrated to you remote access. Now, I would like you to open your workbooks. We're going to do some supervisor moding. We're going to maybe ask you a couple questions about remote access. And then we're going to move on to the next topic, which is service. All right? So this is your last chance to ask questions about customer, operation, use and care, and everything they have at their fingertips. So get those questions ready. Let's do the workbooks, and we're probably going to take 10, 15 minutes to work on this. So when you're ready, I'll just see you put your pencils down, and we'll move on to the next topic. We'll review and move on to the next topic.